Alright, it is time for some more Z Fold 7 accessories, and this time we got some accessories sent to us by Benks, so shout out to them for sending these accessories and allow me to review them for the Z Fold 7. So let's actually get into this. Alright, so what do we have here? This is, first of all, a very premium looking box. It's definitely huge, like this is the phone size. It's a big box, but looks very premium. The ArmorAir Grand Combo by Benks, engineered for the Z Fold 7. Protected in every dimension. You can see at the bottom what it has. So it has the front case, the back case, and the screen protector. So, and also on the back it is built with Kevlar. So that's a really good material that they've been using for a while. And I actually like their Kevlar cases for other phones. Okay, here we go. So we got two things on the inside. First is the screen protector. So let's check this out. So this is a combo, right? It's gonna come with the case and the screen protector. Boom. A nice screen protector. It does have the black bezel on the sides, so that is nice because it makes it basically seamless, edge to edge. It makes it a little bit easier to align, and then also using the gestures and stuff, there's no like gap, annoying gap. Usually with screen protectors, when they only cover the size of the screen and not the bezel on the edge, there's like a gap and it kind of like gets caught on your finger as you're swiping. So I'm actually gonna put these back in because this is still the dummy unit. I don't have the actual device yet, so when I do get the device, I'll come back to this, but for now, I'm not going to apply the screen protector on a dummy unit that has a cracked screen as well. Let's actually dig into the case though, because I can tell you a little bit about how the case feels, looks, and weighs with the dummy unit. So boom, it actually comes in two pieces, so the front and the back. And this is something, again, that Samsung is not doing. Samsung this year is only giving cases that have a back piece and not a front piece, kind of reverting back to the Z Fold 2 days, which is unfortunate. And yeah, so this case already feels really good. They sent me a case like this for the Z Fold 6 last year, and I actually enjoyed it. It was very thin, but also still very protective. And this is the same. Look at how thin this is. Feels very high quality. The hinge protection is also not too bulky, but it looks like it's going to be effective. Adhesive strip on the inside, and then also you have your MagSafe. So when I get my Fold 7, I might actually use this case because of all these qualities. Like, I like protection, but the reason why I don't use cases is because of how bulky they are. But with this, man, this is very, very slim. I'm sure the phone is going to be 100% more protected than not using the case. So this is actually really, really nice. Even if you just wanted to use it like this, because the way it lines up, you can kind of use it like that. So pretty cool. I actually like this a lot. And that's actually something that people were complaining about last year. I believe Benks only offered just a back piece on their cases, especially this one from last year. But now we have a front piece. So let's see what that looks like in the envelope. Bomb. And here we go. Just a nice Kevlar front piece. And I think that that's more than enough, to be honest. You just need the frames to be protected, and this will do that for you. So I'm actually not going to peel the adhesives because I really would like to try this out on my actual Fold 7 when I get one. So let's just put on both pieces. It's not going to be 100% accurate because this is a dummy unit, and I'm also not taking off the adhesives to stick it on properly. Very, very clean. I think it looks great. This is minimalistic, but also still has like a style. Very classy, like I said. You know, this is like sipping some wine at a fancy restaurant type of vibe. The goldish, kind of silvery accents. Very nice. This is like one of the only hinge protection cases that I've seen that is just so like thin and easy to use. Like, it doesn't add too much bulk to the phone. Still very usable. If anything, the hinge protection on this basically makes it the wideness of a regular phone. So that's actually not that bad, to be honest. It's actually pretty decent. That was the S25 Plus. Now against the Nothing Phone 3, it's like basically right there with the Phone 3 in the case. Before we weigh it, let's actually look at the buttons. So you have your cutouts, and pretty easy to press them. No issues with that. And then you obviously have your speaker lineup. You obviously have your speaker holes. And then your USB-C cutout is also very big. So you can fit different kinds of USB-C cables with no issues. I have some pretty bulky ones, and some cases just don't work, but it seems like every cord that you put into your Z Fold 7 will work with this case on. And then you have your mics again, and yeah, everything just looks clean, precise, and fits the form of the phone really well as well. This is what it looks like when it's open. The top, look at how thin that is. Just look at the side with the case on, and then the phone itself. Barely a difference, to be honest, but it's going to offer a lot of protection, especially with the hinge protection, and it's just going to be really nice having that MagSafe capability. So 4 generations later, Samsung is still using the same battery size on the Z Fold 7, with that comes the need to charge more often than a normal phone like these back here. If you're somebody who uses MagSafe, this is a cool accessory. This is the Benks ArmorAir. It is a Qi2 wirelessly charging power bank, and the Z Fold 7 actually supports Qi2 even though it doesn't have the magnets inside. So you can get up to 15 watts from this power bank, which is really nice. The fact that it's 10,000 milliamps means that you can charge your Z Fold 7 around 2 times, depending on if it's wired or wirelessly charging and if you're using your device or not. But you can charge your Z Fold 7 more than enough to keep your day going. And so this will easily fit in your pocket and attach to your Z Fold 7 and wirelessly charge their fold very easily. And if you don't have MagSafe rings on the back of your Z Fold 7 or a MagSafe case, you can also use it with the wire as well to get up to 30 watts of charging speeds. You can use basically any phone, and like it doesn't have to have magnets to work. If you just put it on the phone and line it up properly, the phone will start charging. And there is some type of magnetic field, even though they don't have the Qi2 magnets. And just to show you that it works on other phones, this is the Nothing Phone 3. Boom, there you go, wirelessly charging from the power bank. And then it has the indicator at the bottom, so you'll see green when it's charging. Then if you take it off, the green will go away. You have your dots, so this is 3 dots showing me that it's probably at like around 70%. Then obviously 4 dots will be 100%. The links will be in the description below. Unfortunately, this power bank is really good and it will work with your Fold 7, but with this case from Benks, it actually doesn't line up properly because of how big the camera bump is. So one thing you could do though, this is a little bit scuffed, but you could use the Benks power bank. If you just angle it like this, it actually locks on. So yeah, if you want to charge your Z Fold 7 with this power bank while using the Benks case, then you could turn it. But all that aside, really high quality case, very, very thin, and it looks nice. Now let's check the weight. The phone, the dummy unit by itself is around 220 grams on my scale. And now with this case, it's around 255 grams. So that does seem like a pretty big jump in the weights, but when you consider how thin and light this phone is, that's actually only around the weight of the Z Fold 5 without a case on, and the Pixel Fold series without cases. It is significantly heavier with this case on, but still not too bad. Like this is a regular phone with a clear case on, and it's around 240 grams. If I get the S25 Plus with a normal case, around 220 grams. So definitely makes it heavier, but it's not unmanageable, and in my hand, like easy to maneuver because of how thin it is. It feels pretty nice, to be honest, and it's still going to fit in your pocket very easily. If you look at it beside the S25 Plus with a case on, still pretty comparable and not that much of a difference in terms of the overall thickness when it's closed. So again, this is actually like one of the cases that I would recommend for the Z Fold 7, just based on this experience. Obviously I haven't used it long term, so I can't say how the longevity will be, but knowing Benks, it's going to be a high quality case that will last you a good amount of time. There's a high chance of that. So yeah, really high quality case, a lot of protection, very thin, and honestly not that heavy when you compare it to other cases that have similar levels of protection. And the fact that this also has MagSafe built in, that's really nice. So that is it for this video. Make sure you subscribe because there's a lot more content on the way. But until next video, we're out. Peace.